Oh boy, I tell you the left. Oh, Kamala, Tampon Tim, Comrade Comedy. Communist Kamala. We don't want your $25,000. We don't want your tampon. Boy, they are shaking out their shoes, panicking, boy. This Trump team, boy. This fella is out there with his shirt off. In the sun, in jeans. Underneath a bench press. Oh boy. And not just a bench press, an incline bench press. Boy, they are shaking out their shoes right now, man. Democrats are shaking out their shoes right now, y'all. Woo!
Stop for more than a second. Let's go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They are shaking out their shoes, boy. This fella's in jeans, y'all. In the sun, in jeans, lifting that underneath that bar. We are going to make America great again, baby. Big changes are going to come underneath this leadership, boy. Oh, shout out to them beautiful patriots around the world, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new here. We are in a fight to get our country back, man. It's time for a change, baby. It is time for a change, man. We're done with the liars, the failures. We are sick and tired of being sick and tired, man. And that Trump train is rolling, man. A lot of people are waking up, and it's going to be too big to rig. Too big to rig. We're going to make common sense great again. We need common sense back, man. This woke culture of no common sense is not going to fly, man. It's been a complete show. A disaster. A disaster, man. Let's go and jump in, man. A lot of people have been sending me this this clip here. Let's go and jump in. We're not going to waste any time. I'm not going to be on here yapping and japping and rapping. Let's go and jump in, y'all.
Now is Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Welcome to Fox News Sunday.
Shannon, thanks for having me.
Okay, so let's get this out of the way.
One thing, I want to just send my prayers for this Trump team, for RFK, to the Trump and his family, my prayers, man. Again, these fellas are against the system, against the corruption, fighting for you and I. And I hate to say this, but, you know, it's the truth. They want these fellas out of here. Hell, they want them dead. And we know the background behind, his family, the Kennedy's family, man. And they are shaking and panicking out their shoes right now. You seen what we just witnessed July 13th, 2024. So prayers to these guys, man. Prayers to these fellas. And also prayers to you guys and your family, man, because we are living in times we don't know what to expect, man. We're living in some disgraceful, sick times, man. Some dark times. Dark.
Way up front, you and President Trump not always fans of each other. He posted on social media earlier this year, he's one of the most liberal lunatics ever to run for office. A phony radical left fool whose poll numbers are terrible and getting worse. The New Yorker said just a couple of weeks ago this: in a recent text exchange, Kennedy told one person that Trump was a terrible human being, the worst president ever and barely human. He is probably a sociopath. Now, I haven't read your text, so you can speak to that. But how did you get from that position to Friday night?
Well, it became clear to me that I did not have a path to victory. 16 months of censorship, of not being able to get on any network really except for Fox. And I had, in fact, when Ross Perot ran, in the 10 months that he ran, he had 34 appearances on the networks. I had 2 appearances in 16 months. So I was blocked out from the networks. I was blocked out from the debate. I had no path to victory. President Trump had been reaching out to me. And I talked to him a few hours after the assassination attempt, and we had a long conversation by phone. I then had 2 extensive meetings, and there were issues, the broad issues that were most important to me, the ones that brought me into the campaign, which was ending the Ukraine war, ending the censorship, and protecting children's health. We're all reforming our food supply, all the things that we need to do to make our children healthy again.
Wow. That is very, very powerful, you guys. Very, very powerful, man. and I want to just interrupt real quick. I know y'all don't like me interrupting and talking, but and I'm glad that she pulled out, well, you guys didn't like each other here and here. You said mean things, and that's a part of politics. It's a dirty game, But the fact that we can let bygones be bygones and come together and unite, man, it's a very bigger, powerful message, man. And that I wish a lot of people would, see the bigger picture, man. And again, a lot of people are seeing the bigger picture, but there's some that still aren't, And then to see CNN to mock him after this happened and make fun of his condition of the way he speaks, man, that was very, very disgusting, man. And people still follow and love that crap, man. And that's all the left is about, man. Insults and just crap. And that's why we're living in this crap hole now. This is why America's deep diving and failing now, man. Nothing but hatred and crap, man. We can't figure out to come together, divided. Divided nation must fall, man. But anyways, let me stop interrupting. I apologize, y'all. Go back.
Our food supply, all the things that we need to do to make our children healthy again. Those are all things that President Trump also wanted to work on. And he invited me to form a unity government. We agreed that we'd be able to continue to criticize each other on issues on which we don't agree. But these issues are so important in their way of unifying our country. We need in this country to reach a point where we love our children more than we hate each other.
Wow.
It's a good unifying theme that I think a lot of people could get around. It's how we get there. That's always the devil is in the details. Have you all negotiated over or talked about a cabinet position, another position within a Trump government in exchange for your endorsement?
No. There's been no commitments. But I met with President Trump, with his family, with his closer advisors, and we just made a general commitment that we were going to work together.
What about the states where you're trying to get off of a number of swing state ballots to say, I'm going to stay on a number of state ballots, but in these swing states, I'm going to try to withdraw myself and ask my supporters, or at least you're telling them, think about supporting President Trump. Did you negotiate over which states you would try to withdraw from?
Yeah, I mean, we all knew which states they were. There basically is 10 swing states where my presence in the race would have helped Vice President Harris and would have harmed President Trump. So I'm going to get off the ballot in those states, and then we're going to stay on the ballot in 30 states. And, I'm encouraging people to vote for me in those states. Those are states where the votes, they're either all red or all blue states where their votes are not going to change the outcome of the race. But in the states where I would have been a spoiler, I'm going to get out. So it's about 10 states.
Okay, so there were reports a couple weeks ago citing an official from your camp and also a Democratic official saying that there'd been outreach to the Harris camp as well to possibly discuss you working within the Harris administration in exchange for an endorsement of her. Is that true? And what happened with that?
I reached out to them on the same basis that I reached out to President Trump, and we actually talked to other presidential candidates, including Chase Oliver and the Libertarian Party, about figuring out ways that we could end the polarization and the hatred and the vitriol, start talking about issues. And I was welcome to listen to anything from the Democrats that they were going to do something about the war, about the Ukraine war, about the censorship, about the child health crisis, this epidemic of chronic disease that has now disabled about 60% of our kids. And when my uncle was President, Shannon, only 6% of Americans had chronic disease. Today, over 60% do. And it's hard to find a kid today that's not been damaged by it. And it's coming from our food supply, from pollution in our environment, from toxics in our environment, and mainly from corruption in our government that allows that to happen.
You've talked about, or there's been discussion that if you were to join the Trump administration in some health-related position, that you have real interest in dismantling things like the FDA, the CDC, NIH, you would like to see a focus away from infectious diseases to what you're talking about, more chronic diseases. Is it fair to say that you would try to dismantle some of those organizations?
No, I wouldn't dismantle them. I would change the focus, and I would end the corruption. Right now, 75% of FDA's budget is coming from pharmaceutical companies. That is a perverse incentive. In NIH, scientists and officials in NIH who work on drug development, who incubate drugs for the pharmaceutical company, get to collect lifetime royalties from those products. These are regulators. They're supposed to be looking for problems in those products. We have these agencies that have become sock puppets for the industries they're supposed to regulate. So they're not really interested in public health. Everybody, the most profitable thing today in America is a sick child. Everybody's making money. The hospitals are making money.
Wow.
The pharmaceutical companies are making money. Even the insurance companies make money. And we need to end those perverse incentives. We need to get the corruption out of FDA, out of NIH.
Protect this man at all costs, y'all. Protect this man. And you start speaking like this, I'll just be real with you, man. Again, these fellas are against the system, man. They are against the corruption. I hate to break it to y'all. If you don't know, you know. They are against the system. They are against the corruption.
Out of the CDC and make them function as they're supposed to function, which is to protect public health and particularly children's health.
To go back to your decision from Friday, both you and Nicole Shanahan, your running mate, have talked about how you feel like the Democrats completely mistreated you, excluded you from the process. How much of your decision Friday is about revenge or motivated by punishing Democrats in some way?
Zero. I don't act in anything in my life. I don't act out of anger or revenge or resentment. It's a bad motivation. It's like swallowing poison and hoping someone else will die. And so I don't do it. I am very pragmatic and practical, and I am focused on one thing, which is how do we restore health for our children? And that touches many, many other issues. How do we regenerate our soils in this country? How do we protect small family farmers? The incentives are all going to commodity agriculture, and that's what is feeding this chronic disease epidemic, the processed foods that are created by commodity agriculture. So we need to do all of these things at once. Protect small farmers, restore our soils, regenerative agriculture, and to get the corruption out of the federal government and make these agencies do what they were created to do, which is to protect our health and not serve the mercantile interests of the pharmaceutical companies and the processed food industry.
This decision is not without personal cost for you. Your own family went to the White House on St. Patrick's Day, took a huge picture with President Biden, made clear who they were supporting. Friday night, your siblings issued this statement. We believe in Harrison Walz. Our brother Bobby's decision to endorse Trump today is a betrayal of the values that our father and our family hold most dear. You posted on X Friday night saying you're grateful to your amazing wife because the decision that you've made is one that she's uncomfortable with. So talk to us about the personal backlash you have to deal with in moving forward.
I mean, my family is at the center of the Democratic Party. I have 5 members of my family that are working for the Biden administration. President Biden has a bust of my father behind him at the Oval Office. He's been a family friend for many, many years. And my family is, I understand that they're troubled by my decisions, but, I love my family. I feel like we were raised in a milieu where we were encouraged to debate each other and debate ferociously and passionately about things, but to still love each other. So, they can, they're free to take their positions on these issues. There are many, many members of my family who are working in my campaign, who are supporting me. I have a very big family. There's a few of them that are troubled. But, I think we all need to be able to disagree with each other and still love each other.
Amen.
Wall Street Journal has this. They say it's a a double-edged sword, essentially, that it may help President Trump to pick up some of your followers if they're willing to go over there. But they warn about what you would do in his administration. They say this: RFK Jr., if he's anywhere near the healthcare or environmental agencies in a Trump administration, look out. Mr. Trump's best response is to thank RFK Jr. for his support, make no promises about the future, and by all means avoid joint campaign appearances. You've already had one. Will you have others? Will you campaign for President Trump?
I'm going to be campaigning actively. I think President Trump is going to make a series of announcements about other Democrats who are joining his campaign.
Did y'all hear that? I hope y'all heard that. This is like the highlight point of today's video. You know, he's actually going to be campaigning with Trump, and there is more Democrats on board. This is going to get real interesting, you guys. Wow. What do y'all think of that? Comment down below, man. I know this small clip right here has been going viral all across every platform right now. But that's what we wanted to hear, man. Wow. Let me go back.
Series of announcements about other Democrats who are joining his campaign, and you know, I want to make America healthy again, and so does President Trump. So those are objectives. You know, the Wall Street Journal may be worried about shareholder value for pharmaceutical companies, and I think, you know, I talk specifically President Trump about that issue, and he said that he wanted to leave as his legacy healthy children, and that, you know, that that he was unconcerned about the other implications.
All right, Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Wow, that, man, protect these fellas, man. Prayers for these fellas, man. Prayers for them and their families, man. Prayers for their campaign, man. Again, they are against the system, you guys. They are against the corruption, man. That is huge. Let me know what y'all think of that. Comment down below. I love y'all, man. Have an amazing rest of your weekend. An amazing start to your week. This upcoming week, we're going to be doing a lot of coverage, a lot of amazing news, a lot of amazing videos, having fun, spreading love, keeping it real, man. I love y'all, and I will catch you beautiful people in the next one. Peace and love, y'all.